Just briefly, when I was a sophomore, I took algebra, and when I was in seventh and eighth grade, we had a thing called new math, 1960, 61 to 63, and new math was kind of like algebra, and it took us farm kids or little kids back in this, we didn't have any of the modern stuff. And it took us and started throwing us like an algebra type problem into seventh and eighth grade. And I did okay in math. I mean, regular math. And I didn't understand it. Plus plus the teacher was the coach. And I don't think he understood it. So you know how that goes. The teacher doesn't understand it. So he doesn't know what he's teaching. But anyhow, I started algebra, and I knew I just knew I was gonna have a tough time. I knew it, and it's like if you believe something to be true or not true, you're right, And I thought, and I started out, I tried, and I kept working out. Well, I ended up the first semester with like a C or a C minus. And I thought, man, second semester is going to kill me. And the teacher's name was Ron Malcolm, real nice guy. Wasn't out of college more than 7, 8 years. So, but second semester comes and man, I'm bombing it. I'm sinking fast. And we come to the end of the year and we take the final and I fail it. And I know I know I'm failing it. It's like, and so on the way out, Malcolm says, Jay, would you come here a minute, please? And I said, yes, sir. And I went over and saw him and he said, listen, today's Tuesday. Tomorrow I'm going to be here all day grading papers and working on stuff. And Thursday we got report cards and stuff. So I'd like you to come back and if you would like, and try one more time at taking the final, which I did. And I got there in the afternoon and I showed up and took it. And I think he gave me an extra 10 minutes. And I think just so I could do worse than I was going to do in an hour, or something. But I went up and I gave him my thing and, he checks it over and he said, he turns it upside down and he says, Jay, he said, there's something I want to talk to you about because the end of the day is almost here now at this point and you failed the test. But what I want to tell you is I invited 7 different people back to try taking this test one more time. You're the only one that showed up. You're the only one that showed up. And I know that you already work harder than a lot of people because, school's out 3:45. You go to work at Hart Carter. So it was a small agriculture factory. And I worked on grain dryers and pickup reels for combines and stuff from 4:00 till 12:30 at night, every day of the week, school days, Monday through Friday. And then I got up at 5:30. I got home about 1:00 in the morning, got up at 5:30 to help my dad with his chores. Then I go in, take a quick shower, have a bite of breakfast, go back to school again. I did that every day. So I was doing full-time school, full-time work at nights, and getting up at 5:30. So he said, I know that you do a lot of other things, but he said, you're the only one that came back and tried. And what I'm trying to tell you is that trying is going to get you a lot further than straight A's. Because straight A's, you're going to fall down at some point. People that get B's and C's and have to struggle or work for that are going to go further than somebody's straight A's. Because a lot of people just get it. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I got that. That's not a problem. Okay. Well, but what happens when they fall down?
And they finally hit that adversity that they haven't ever been challenged.
And they don't know what to do. But he said, you are the only one of the 7 that came back and tried again. So I want to tell you, you keep trying like that throughout your life. And that was the best lesson I ever got in school.
Yeah, I could see that.
And I don't know that I realized what he was saying then, but I did later. And I can look at it now at the last 20 years of my life or at the age of 76 and go, wow, it really, because it came to fruition for all the things that I've done, entrepreneurially or corporately or whatever,
Yeah.
So, but it's a good story because it's true. It's just like the more you try, the more you succeed.
I love that story. It's definitely something I think a lot of people